with Lipscomb in danger of dropping its third straight.
Well, Asman comes in with the reputation as a guy who can really shoot it from outside. that was way outside.
McGusty goes baseline off balance. What else can you do but shrug? It's just his night. 29 points, a game high for McGusty. And I'm inclined to think, Dan, that when Miami goes back to review the tape from this game, it's going to be some blown defensive assignments like that one there with Asman getting to the basket. Nobody quite aware where he was.
That's the kind of a game where you're a coach, you're really happy to win the game, but there's enough mistakes in the game that you can complain at the film session.
And what is the life of a coach if not having something to complain about? Cam McGusty won't have too much to complain about with a career high night, 29 points. So Miami is going to come out of this game understandably feeling quite good about the way that it's played. And it's about that time of year where it's not just what your record is, but how you measure up, Dan, against what the rest of the league is doing in the ACC.
It's very interesting. The Atlantic Coast Conference, according to the NET NCAA evaluation tool rankings that came out, not the kind of rankings that the conference is used to having, but it's still early. And those rankings, you can't really pay too much attention to them until you've got more data. But the conference, they need every win they can get. And one of the things that it appears is the conference race might be wide open. Duke, I think, has separated themselves from everybody else early. But other than that, everybody's got a chance, I think. And this Miami team, Jim Larrañaga told us yesterday that he didn't think they had a lot of bulk, that they're going to have to play a lot in terms of finesse. But when you get guys who can play like McGusty and Wong, and you get the kind of contributions that Jordan Miller can make, just good, smart basketball, you can go a long way.
Now, teams with dominant bigs might cause them trouble, but guard-on-guard matchups can be to their advantage. Doubleheader for you Friday. NC State and Pitt at 6 Eastern on the women's side. And then on the men's side, Louisville and DePaul from the Yum Center on the banks of the Ohio River. Both games here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. And for Miami, over the course of Jim Larrañaga's decade-plus long tenure, they have 4 straight 20-win seasons from 2014 to 2018, but now they've had 3 straight losing seasons and looking to right the ship and get back to the NCAA tournament.
Well, you got to put a qualifier on those losing seasons. They have had disaster in terms of injuries. I don't think any team in the country has been injured more or with more critical players injured over the last couple of years than the Hurricanes of Miami. And Jim Larrañaga, I think he's probably just happy to have a full complement of players.
Yeah, that is always a necessary qualifier, whether it's been, an integral player like Chris Likes being injured, who's transferred and now is at Arkansas, or guys further down the roster like Rodney Miller, or an important player in the last couple games, Sam Wardenberg. To have them all healthy and going into the heart of your schedule, going to be real important. Well, this game was close for the majority of the first half. Miami went on a run late in the first half, and with a strong performance from McGusty with 29, Isaiah Wong with 20, they make it a comfortable 76-59 margin of victory over Lipscomb.
Mike, you mentioned that it was close for a while in the first half, and when it got away from Lipscomb was when Jim Larrañaga called that timeout, and Miami came out of the timeout playing a smaller lineup, and you could just see that their defensive intensity was really, really ramped up, And from that point, the Hurricanes basically coasted behind tremendous offensive performances from Cam McGusty and Isaiah Wong.
All right, hey Cam, this is Mike Cousins and Dan Bonner. You hear us?
I can hear you, yes sir.
Awesome. So a career high night for you with 29 points. Why was this the best scoring night of your career?
I just got to give credit to my teammates and my coaches. They always put me in the right spots. My teammates helped me build confidence. And just being in the gym, all the hours are finally starting to come together. So, like I said, I thank my coaches, my teammates, and just the work I've been putting in.
Well, Cam, let me ask you a question. We were just talking about this. Right there in the middle of the first half, you guys called a timeout. And when you came out of that timeout, you were playing a smaller lineup. And it looked like you turned the defensive intensity up about 6 notches. Tell us what happened there.
When we go smaller, you know, Coach always talks about us being fast and being quick, and that's the reason why we go small. So putting pressure on the ball, scrambling, being able to get to cover 3-4 rotations. You know, that's why Coach goes to that group, that smaller group. So we just use our speed and our versatility to our advantage.
Well, now you had the 3-point shot working tonight, particularly in the second half. Was it just a matter of the available shots being there, or what was the key?
Like I said earlier, my teammates, they knew I was hot. They know the work I put in, so they were looking for me. They were encouraging me to keep shooting. Once they saw I hit a couple, so they just kept feeding me. My coaches kept encouraging me to shoot. And like I said, all the work and the trust just coming together at once.
Cam McGusty, congrats on the win. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. You have a nice night.
Thank you, Cam.
Well, faith from Coach L in that smaller group and a trust in their defense as Jim Larinaga, 72 years old, still loves to celebrate with the fans and the band. 76-59, Miami wins it. For Dan Bonner, our entire crew, I'm Mike Cousins saying thanks for watching so long. We'll get you back to the studio. Virginia Tech and Cornell on the way here tonight on the ACC Network as well.
Welcome into the ACC Network studios. Coming up next here on ACC Network, we've got Cornell and Virginia Tech going head-to-head. We'll see what Virginia Tech is able to do. Has struggled the last 4 games. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 after starting the season off 5-0. Naheem Aline, what will he be able to do for the Hokies? That game coming your way in just about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 12 minutes if you can read a clock and do math, which apparently I can't, but Carlos Boozer definitely can. Booze, great to see you. And Miami coming up with the 76-59 win over Lipscomb and really turned it on in the second half. What did you like about what you saw in the second half that you feel like really made the difference?
Yeah, like I told you guys at halftime, and we talked about it at halftime, how they finished the first half, they continued that in the second half. They did a great job defensively. They clamped down. They got out in transition. McGusty and Isaiah Wong were special, especially from the 3. I think they shot over 40% from the 3 in the second half. Did a great job. They had over 40 points in the paint. That's a lot of points. I would have loved this game. That's a lot of points in the paint. They did a great job. Coach Larinaga did a great job of getting his guys ready. They were in the passing lanes. They were rebounding the ball. They did a great job of holding their offensive opponents to a low percentage, shooting 35%. Great job by the Hurricanes.
Yeah, Cam McGusty had a career day. We just heard from him, 29 points. Previous career high was 28, and so he's credited his teammates. Really liked what they were doing there. Booze hit 4 threes. When you got a guy that's cooking like that, you got to get him the ball, right?
Listen, when I was at Duke, we had a guy named Jay Williams that had a lot of nights like this, and every time he was cooking up, you find him. You know, shout out to Cameron McGusty, did a great job of hitting his spots. His teammates were looking for him all night long, and he cashed in. I mean, he was aggressive. He was looking to score, and then when Coach Larinaga went to that small lineup, they played even quicker. They got out in transition. They moved the ball. The guards hit the paint, kicked out. 29 points in 31 minutes super efficient.
Heard Cam McGusty say after the game the mindset that they have when they go small, and we definitely saw that mindset play out just the way that Coach would have drawn it up. Booze, they've got 3 non-conference games coming up, and then they will host NC State. If you're Coach L, as you're looking ahead to what they have, what do you want to see this team kind of get right over the next 2 games before they play NC State?
Yeah, keep building on it. You know, early in this game, they kind of had a slow start. They had a couple of early turnovers. They got their opponent out in transition. On these next 3 games, build on the things that you're doing well, and then try to eliminate your mistakes in the ways that you beat yourself, which is turnovers, errant shots, get back in transition, having floor balance, things of that nature. You want to shore that up before the ACC comes, because there's some really good teams waiting for Miami in the ACC.
And 3 straight wins now, Booze, for Miami, and they're coming off a conference win over Clemson in the opener, and then I mentioned they've got more conference play ahead. When you get one of those games early and then you have a little bit of time, what's the mindset like as you get closer to the conference play and really know you have to lock it in?
Yeah, I mean, back when I was in the ACC, I was excited. I couldn't wait to play in the ACC just for bragging rights. You know, we bump into these guys in the off season, then we go down to Carolina and play some of these guys at the Dean Dome. They would come over to Cameron and play the Card Gym. You want to start, you know, getting ready for your opponent, whether that's the big man, like big versus big. Like when I was in the ACC, I was going against Brendan Haywoods and guys like that, and I would get ready to play against that game all season long. The whole season, if I'm playing against other teams out the conference, I was thinking about the teams in my conference because we wanted to win the conference. And I'm sure that's what Coach Larinaga has these guys doing, thinking about the road ahead, preparing for that road ahead. These games like this are crucial.
3 straight wins for Miami, and now they will play Fordham next. So we will see how that goes before they get back into conference play in a couple of weeks. On the women's side, 3 teams in action tonight. Notre Dame, they had to battle it out with Valpo. Kind of were behind early, tied for a little while. It was a back and forth stretch, but the Irish get it done, 73-56 the final in that one. Syracuse takes care of Cornell, no problem there. And right now, Boston College still playing UMass, but with about 2 minutes left, they are up 62-54. So we'll see if they're able to finish things off. About 8 minutes away from tip-off here on ACC Network, Virginia Tech getting ready to host Cornell. Hunter Couture has been shooting well from three-point land. We'll see if he's able to do that tonight as well. Booze and I have a preview for you after this.
Here we go, Billy. Swing hard, buddy.
At Auto Owners Insurance, we know you. We know every Saturday your son Billy plays Little League. We sponsor his team. And we know you love parking way too close to the field. That's why we tailor a unique policy for you and your car. Because sometimes something from out of left field can literally come from out of left field. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you. Hey, Billy.
Team, we've waited all year for this. But game day isn't about wins or losses. It's about grills and smokers, burgers and wings, buffalo sauces and secret rubs. Do we save at Food Lion for the home field advantage? Do they have just what we need to go big on game day? Then walk out there with your heads held high and your sliders held higher. As this is our home. And that's our Food Lion.
Introducing the OYO Personal Gym, the proven way to transform your body with patented Spiriflex technology.
The OYO Personal Gym. This one piece of equipment provides the same benefits as all these weights. Just add flex packs rated at 5 or 10 pounds.
OYO Gym strengthens and shapes your chest, back, arms, core, and legs. Now it's your turn to lose weight, look younger, get stronger, and feel amazing. Order the OYO Gym right now.
Come for the first rounders and the first timers. For the screamers and the dreamers. For the bright lights, the long nights, and the damn near frostbite. Come for the red zone, the end zone, handoffs, and one-handers.
At the hour, but we will have more after this.
Here's to hard workers, the holding down two jobbers, the making the paycheck stretchers. Here's to the bad to fair credit scores, and those bills were just a little bit laters. At Good to Go, we see you. We know you have the drive, you just can't afford to drive. Good to Go is here to give you auto insurance when others won't. For as little as $20 down and low monthly payments, Good to Go makes it easy to get approved, insured, and back on the road fast. Get the coverage you need, instant proof of insurance, and be on your way. We know you're going places. Let us help you get there. When others say no, we say you're good to go. Visit goodtogo.com.
The moment you order the world's most delicious snacks from Nuts.com, something truly magical happens. Freshness. Your choice of fresh nuts, dried fruits, sweets, and treats are hand-selected from our kitchen. Freshly roasted to perfection or freshly baked, freshly dipped, freshly seasoned, or freshly popped. Packaged fresh, and Nuts.com delivers this yumminess super fast with free shipping. Nuts.com. Fresh snacks from our kitchen to yours.
I love Made In. I love what Made In represents. With the product, you could tell that there's extreme craftsmanship.
You would think a pan is a pan until Made In came along, and I went, wow, these things are something better.
I use Made In both at home and here at Kraft in New York City. They're beautifully made and will help you take your cooking to the next level.
Those are the pans that we use at Alinea. We're going to have the best pans in the world at one of the best restaurants in the world.
Come for the first rounders and the first timers, for the screamers and the dreamers, for the bright lights, the long nights, and the damn near frostbite. Come for the red zone, the end zone, handoffs and one-handers, the tailgates and the tunnels. For three-time champs and for a second time around, come for more than the game. Come for it all.
Kelsey and Carlos with you, and Virginia Tech just minutes away from tipping off. How about Keve Aluma and the way that he has been playing lately? Led the team in scoring for the second straight game with the season-high 23 points last game. So we'll see what he is able to do tonight as they take on Cornell. Let's get you out to Packer and Durham. They had Virginia Tech head coach Mike Youngworm.
What have you learned with your team through this early schedule?
Well, kind of spotty. Obviously, I learned that we've got a long way to go after Saturday's game against Wake Forest. Wake Forest is much improved, as I knew they would be. Coach Forbes is very, very good. We go back a long way, as you both know. Mm-hmm. We've had some good moments. Went to Navy. They were better than I expected them to be. They're good and one up there. Winning at Maryland, I think anytime you do that is a feather in your cap. Now you come back here to begin league play against Wake Forest, and they're off to a really nice start, 7-1, I think, coming into our game, and they fanned us, and we weren't very good, and they had a lot to do with that. We weren't as connected as we've been through the early portion of the schedule, but. We practiced very well yesterday, needed to practice very well yesterday, and I've got a good team, fellas. We're going to be fine. Saturday's experience was humbling and eye-opening. We aren't as good as maybe some of us thought we were, and there is plenty of work to do.
Coach, I watched your games against Memphis and Xavier, which I thought were really good tests because those are good clubs. And you had a chance to win both, but you didn't. But I thought the toughness factor came into play with your game at Maryland. I thought down the stretch, I saw your team actually grow from the week before by being tested by Memphis and Xavier. And that certainly helped you, number one, in that environment and against a good club.
We did, Mark, and that was encouraging to see. At Maryland, down 7, they had the ball twice in the second half. And we stiffened up. We're very good defensively going down the stretch. Hunter Couture was very good. I thought Keve Aluma in the second half was the Keve Aluma of old, and he carried that over into Saturday's game against Wake Forest. Wish we could have had. Those are two great opportunities in Brooklyn to win. Didn't play very well against Memphis. We find ourselves up late, under 4, and don't make enough plays going down the stretch. And the Xavier game's kind of the same way. The Xavier game, we simply didn't play well enough to win. But I've seen some encouraging signs through our first 9 But again, as I said earlier, this team is still finding its way, and we have a lot of mountains to climb around here in Blacksburg.
Good stuff there from Mike Young. His team is 6-3, but Booz, they do have some great experience. They're getting 79% of their scoring from their upperclassmen. What do you need to see them do tonight against this Cornell team that's 8-1?
Yeah, I really like what Mike Young said, man. This team is listen, it's a marathon and not a sprint. They're going to go through highs and lows and peaks and valleys, and they're going through some of those processes now as you continue down the journey. Their upperclassmen are ballers. They got some good transfers in. They got some good young guys. And I can't say enough about Keve Aluma. He can do a little bit of everything, inside, outside. Had 20-plus points last game, over 4 threes. Looking forward to seeing what they do. They got to continue to play defense, dominate the glass, and get him the ball.
In his last 2 games, Keve Aluma averaging 20 points, 10.5 rebounds, shooting 47% from the floor. What will he do tonight? Well, Drew Carter and Malcolm Huckabee standing by to tell you all about it, guys.
It's Fee Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
A special week here on ESPN rolls on, and tonight it takes us to Blacksburg. Virginia Tech looking to bounce back from a loss in the ACC opener, and they have a tall task ahead of them in the Cornell Big Red. And with that, we say hello and thanks for staying up late with us on this Wednesday night. Alongside Malcolm Huckabee, I'm Drew Carter, and Huck, we've got a treat tonight. We get to see one of the best players in America in Keve Aluma.
Make no mistake about it. He's a guy that's going to be playing for a paycheck when he leaves Virginia Tech. He does a little bit of everything. He can knock down the perimeter jumpers from beyond the arc. He can take a smaller player down low in the post and score over him. He's an excellent passer out of the double team. He is just a matchup nightmare. That's going to be a key matchup tonight for Cornell. On the other side, though, one of the better offensive teams in college basketball right now. They make close to 12 threes per game. They're shooting close to 40%. Defending the three-point line and transition D are keys for Virginia Tech.
Big Red, second in the country in both points and assists per game this year. 9 o'clock tip at Castle Coliseum. Here we go in Blacksburg. Hot start for the Big Red right out of the gate. Cornell goes right to the hole and scores and one with Chris Mannon going to the line.
I said it right off the tip. Transition defense is going to be key in this game. They are one of the fastest playing teams in college basketball. Make or miss, they're going to try to get out and get quick offense right off the tip. They score within 4 seconds.
Before the Hokies fans even finished singing Enter Sandman, Roger Ayers and this crew had a foul called, and they're sending Chris Mannon to the line for one for the potential old-fashioned three-point play. Our officials tonight, Roger Ayers, Lee Cassell, and Jenna Renault. A sophomore from New Jersey knocks it down early, 3-0 lead, and the Big Red set up a little press here, Huck.
Yeah, and they've been pretty good defensively early on, forcing some turnovers. And, Drew, one of the things, they are averaging over 90 points a game. They want to get up and down and turn this into a track race. If you're Virginia Tech, you want to slow it down, control the pace, and to get Keve Aluma touches.
There's Aluma in the lane, spins, and scores. Aluma with the soft touch coming off his best game of the season against Wake Forest Saturday when he had 23. You see the starting five for Cornell, but no one on this roster plays more than 22 minutes per game. They've got 10 guys who average 12. It's a platoon hockey-style substitution method as Aluma knocks it away, and it sets up Storm Murphy for the Hokies.
Yeah, interesting conversation when we spoke with Coach Young. He said, look, they do hockey-style substitutions, and certainly they need to know personnel, but that's a good sign right there. Early three ball by Couture off of excellent ball movement.
That is a great sign for Virginia Tech. Hunter Couture did not make a three Saturday against Wake Forest. He usually does when Virginia Tech suits up. Jordan Jones, number 23, misses his first look. That's the Big Red's leading scorer. Storm Murphy triggers. Jones slips and falls. It'll stay here, though, with Cornell. Justin Mutz went diving to the deck to try to retrieve it. And there you see Brian Earl in his 5th season, 6th year at Cornell. They didn't play all of last year. None of the Ivy League did. Just picked up his 50th win Sunday against Cayuga College. He played at Princeton. You might remember he was on the team that knocked off UCLA in the first round in 1996.
He could flat out ball, man. I mean, really, really good player and doing some outstanding things early on with this Cornell program.
Here's Mannon, who's got all 3 for the Big Red. Averaging more than 91 points per game this season. Kobe Dixon on the drive, bumped by Aluma on the floor. Early sub. There's David Gusson, who comes in for Virginia Tech.
And Drew, pace, that's what we're going to be talking about a lot in this game with Cornell. Virginia Tech must be good in transition defense. Cornell, again, if you blink, as Coach Young said yesterday in our call, if you blink with them, they are going to get the ball, make or miss, and try to get a shot off before you get your defense set.
Coach Young was almost befuddled by his team's defensive performance against Wake Forest Saturday. The Demon Deacon shot 64% from the floor. That'll help with the defense. The block by Gusson, but he fouled Mannon on the way to the hole.
Hard to tell from our angle. Let's see. Now, from our angle there, it looked like it was a pretty good block, but the referee underneath the basket had better position than we did. So again, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because in that situation, it's all about where they're positioned and what they're seeing. And there could have been some contact below the waist that he saw that forced him to call that. Nonetheless, though, that's a good break for Cornell. Getting to the free throw line.
So Mannon's got all 5 for the Big Red. You saw Aluma hit the bench. John Ogiaco into the game for Mike Young.
And because they're so deep, Drew, they can play this type of pressure and also the pace that they play at. Again, they can go 10, 12 deep on their roster.
Couture's floater, no. Gusson's got it. Couture already has 1 3 today. Right to the hole and scores with the left. 5 quick ones for Hunter Couture. Answered quickly by the Big Red and Jordan Jones. Their leading scorer has his first 2.
I'll say it again. If you blink, you're going to miss an offensive